I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. What is up, everybody? It's time to talk about Pokémon Detective Pikachu. I still, as I previously mentioned in my before and after video, I still cannot for the life of me understand why they had to name it Pokémon Detective Pikachu. Why couldn't they just call it Detective Pikachu? Just much easier name to name off, but whatever. It's a minor nitpick. It has nothing to do with the overall movie except that, well, it's the title. I really like this movie, and I highly recommend people watch it. And I'm saying that up top because I've had some time to think about this movie, and had some to talk to other people I know about this movie. And whenever they asked me about this movie, I just said, yeah, it was cute, it was nice. So their first reaction was, oh, so it's for kids. No. This is not a movie for kids. This is a movie that is kid-friendly. Absolutely, it's a movie about Pokemon. But beyond that, it's a movie that explores familial connections. I'll say that. It's a movie about fathers and sons. And you may have already guessed from the trailers that, yeah, the main protagonist, Tim Goodman, played by Justice Smith, kind of loses his father, or at least he thinks he loses his father. And that kind of weighs on him, and I gotta be honest, that kind of a story, I just love it. I mean, I've talked endlessly about how my favorite movie of all time is The Lion King, and well, the main character kind of loses his father, and there's no ambiguity about that. He literally sees his father die, and these kind of stories have always talked to me as a child of divorced parents, and I barely got to see my father for most of my life, and I kind of really empathized with Tim. First of all, let's talk about Tim himself. Justice Smith, I was excited the moment I saw him. Not because I followed his career or anything, not because I thought he was a particularly good actor for this role. It's just the only other role I've ever seen him in was Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And to be honest, he didn't really do all that much in that movie, except mostly scream and be a comedic relief, and that really didn't work for me. So when I saw him in this movie, I said, yes, this is exactly what this actor needs to do right now in his current stage of his career. Get away from just being the nerdy guy that screams when he sees dinosaurs. He needs to be a character in a live-action Pokemon movie, oddly enough. This is a perfect test of his skills as a leading vehicle, where he didn't really have to do most of the heavy lifting that was on the shoulders of Ryan Reynolds, who was mostly absent for the majority of this movie, physically anyway, but we'll get to that later. But as soon as I saw Justice Smith was going to be kind of the human lead in this movie, I said, perfect, this is exactly what this young actor needs to do in his young career, and I really hope his young career flourishes. Because, yeah, I kind of think, like I said, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom wasn't really the best showcase for his talents, and this movie definitely highlights this kid's acting chops. He's not fully, like, what I would consider at the top of his game at the moment. This was a very good showcase for his talents, but I kind of need to see more from this guy to really evaluate his acting chops, more or less. Catherine Newton is also in this movie. I didn't like her character at first. She kind of seemed a little too stereotypical on purpose, and you kind of have to watch the movie to understand what I'm saying, but yeah, she kind of, let's just say she let it show exactly what her character wanted to be, and she does have an arc, and she evolves throughout the movie. Funny thing to say that she actually evolves in a Pokemon movie, but she kind of changes a little bit, and she becomes a little bit more open, and I kind of enjoyed her towards the very end, but she's still not one of the best characters in this movie overall. Bill Nye is actually in this movie, and I don't think you actually get to see him in the trailers, so I'm gonna try to stay away from spoilers surrounding this character. Yeah, he was very good. I mean, it's Bill Nye, so he's obviously gonna be very good in whatever project he decides to do. His character did seem a little bit predictable at times, or another very good word I like to use, guessable. So you can guess what's coming up next. There is a bit of a plot twist that you can kind of see coming a mile away, but at a certain point of the movie I kind of said to myself, okay, let's try to look at things from a different perspective. Let's not go the generic route. And that actually did get me for a while, but then things basically did a complete 180, and yeah, his character, Bill Nye's character, ended up being exactly what I thought he would be, and I'm not going to say exactly what that is, for spoiler reasons, but yeah, Bill Nye, writing-wise, wasn't very surprising or anything, but acting-wise, perfect. I've got no complaints about that. Ken Watanabe was actually in this movie a lot more than I thought he would be, judging by the trailers, and also judging by the trailers, I kind of had the wrong idea about this guy. I kind of thought he was going to be a bit of a douche to Justice Smith Tim character, and that really wasn't the case. He was a very caring and gentle, upstanding gentleman who really actually cared about this kid who just lost his dad, and Ken Watanabe actually surprised me in this movie. Who would have thought? But let us now talk about the main reason people are going to see this movie: the Pokémon. In particular, Ryan Reynolds as Pikachu. So yes, Ryan Reynolds is playing a talking Pikachu in this movie, and that is just about as weird as you might think it is. In fact, I even remember that a year or two ago I even read online, Ryan Reynolds is going to voice Pikachu in the live-action movie. I was like, what? Where did that came from? Why? What happened? What is wrong with the world? And surprise, surprise, Ryan Reynolds was awesome. He kind of played a certain version of Deadpool, a PG-13 version of Deadpool, if you will, but it worked. Pikachu, I mean, I already was a fan of Pikachu, mostly because of the Pokemon anime series, but this Pikachu, very significantly different than that Pikachu, Ash's Pikachu, but he was awesome. It was just the right balance of drama and comedy, and Ryan Reynolds just made this character work. As far as the other Pokemon, I couldn't believe my eyes how good these Pokemon look. I mean, they look exactly as they should look. Now, I'm gonna be honest, there has been several pictures online from individual artists who have made live-action looking Pokemon the way they probably should look. And I'm gonna be completely honest, those pictures, those still images, look a lot better than the Pokemon in this movie. However, the Pokemon in this movie look exactly as they should be. Let me try to explain what I'm trying to say here is that those still pictures are meant to portray Pokemon if they were real, if they existed in our world. And unfortunately, though we like to think differently, yeah, Pokemon don't really exist in our world, therefore they look significantly different in the Detective Pikachu movie. So I'm fine with either way, but it would have been jarring to see the Pokemon in this movie look anything like the Pokemon in those wonderful, wonderful images that these artists made. It just really wouldn't fit. It would have been completely out of tone, and I like the way the Pokemon look. My only criticism is that it kind of looked like, and this is by the way no fault of the production on this movie. It's not the fault of the visual effects department. It's just kind of disappointing, but it's a bit of a minor nitpick. So basically, there are only like 40 or 50 different types of Pokemon in this movie. That's a rough estimate, by the way. I didn't actually sit there and count, but basically about 80% of the Pokemon you see in the trailers, that's like all the Pokemon that are in this movie. There's like maybe even 90%. I think there were like 3 or 4 Pokemon that we didn't get to see in the trailers that were actually in the movie, and it was actually surprising to see those Pokemon. But again, a very small selection of Pokemon, and I mean, I know it's just getting into some fanboy stuff, but there are like 800 Pokemon in the games, and the movie only showcased like a small portion of these from various different generations of Pokemon, and it was kind of disappointing. It kind of didn't really fit the story. It's like pretty much 3 out of 10 people in Rhyme City have a Squirtle as their Pokemon, or a Charmander, or whatever. A very small selection of Pokemon, but it was okay because the Pokemon looked good and they looked exactly like they should have looked like. Overall, final thoughts, I'd say that as the first live-action Pokemon ever, it was a very good for a one-off. To be honest, I really wouldn't mind if we never get to see any of these characters from this movie ever again. Just saying, I mean, they did kind of hint at a much larger world of the Pokemon world in this movie. They definitely dropped some references to the games and to the anime series, and it kind of does feel like this movie actually takes place within that world of the anime series. And again, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about if you actually watch the movie. But if there is ever a plan for making more Pokemon movies, I really wouldn't mind not seeing Tim and his Pikachu ever again. Just as an opinion, I mean, it was nice to see these characters have their story, but I think their story is kind of concluded now, and I kind of like to see more stories being told in that world. Maybe just, some more Pokemon, that would be nice. But yeah, if there's ever going to be another Pokemon movie, I'd like it to focus on some different characters, maybe an direct adaptation of the video games, or maybe a direct adaptation of the TV show. That would be nice, or maybe just completely new original characters, just like I believe this movie was, I think. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Pokemon Detective Pikachu, or as I like to call it, Detective Pikachu, because I'm stingy like that. But what do you guys think about Detective Pikachu? Did you even watch it? Are you excited to watch it? Did my review kind of help you formulate a decision on whether or not you're going to see Detective Pikachu? Let me know, and remember guys, gotta catch 'em all. Hello again everybody! I really hope you enjoyed this video, cause I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time guys, I'll see you guys next time.